Hello, everybody. It's my week 19 recap. And real quickly, again, didn't have any success with any evidential data on the experiment, unfortunately. Um, but I have been uh, getting things that have been very useful for me. So once again, just getting, like as far as the data, I mean, there's no sense in going through it because they were all incorrect every time I was trying to get remote view a the exam that I was going to do. I just couldn't get it right. Um, again, I'm going to continue to try, but it's just I'm not having much success there. Where I am having success is getting messages that are, again, helpful to clear some emotional resistance. So, um, like for example, I was watching, I think, a video of John Edward, and for me, he's one of the uh, premier psychics that is out there. To be honest, I've always been fascinated ever since I read the book The Afterlife Experiments, and in there, Gary Schwartz pretty much eliminated the possibility that it could be cold readings, and um, there wasn't much doubt that these psychics were not using cold reading methods um, to gather the data. And that's generally what people always say, that he's doing a lot of cold reading. So for me, I've always been kind of frustrated that people just don't get it, that he's not doing a cold reading, and he's actually even gone through an experiment to show that it wasn't cold readings, and they still say that it is, and so that part I've always had a lot of, I guess, resistance to. I just don't get it, how people could still be so doubtful, and it was giving me some information that was just basically saying that, if um, your emotional response to that is so different, I mean, if you are, what Abraham Hicks would say, your vibration is so on the other side of that, where you just don't believe that, um, you're just not close. How did I word it? I know when I wrote it down. It was basically saying that the information is subjective. So even though a lot of the data is very personal to the individual, and they can know that there was nobody else that they told that information to. They can know that the likelihood of somebody, knowing that information is very slim. Guessing that is, very, very slim. And so, it can't really help people that are really, really far away from the belief of that. Even something that's really amazing, it's still only amazing to that individual, and it's not really amazing to somebody else. And so that's where, I was having the problem, and I could, and once it was explained to that, it kind of was like it made a lot more sense to me, and I was able to release a little bit of that resistance there. It was just kind of like, once you have that understanding, you kind of understand where the person's coming from. It kind of helps to, I guess you understand where they're coming from, so you don't really become so resistant to it. Um, the other thing that I was I I was given, it was just I've been doing a lot of exercises, again, a lot of focus wheels. There was also an experiment, I mean, not excuse me, not experiment, exercise, again, that Abraham Hicks has, that's called, wouldn't it be nice if, and then, I do a lot of those too. Wouldn't it be nice if, because then you don't really have much resistance. You can just kind of write down whatever you want, and, you could kind of just work a feeling, and that's kind of what you're trying to do, is just work the feeling. One of As I was doing some of these, somewhere along the way, I ended up getting another um, tool that I could use, but it was just kind of something that kind of came to me, and it was saying that um, wherever you wish to be, let's say if you imagine yourself having a certain thing, or imagine yourself being at a certain place, you describe the feelings first. You say, well, let's say, like, for example, I'm a bowler, and you say, well, how would I feel if I scored a 300 game? And so then you would write down the feelings that you would be feeling, like exhilaration, uh, joy, excitement, and then you take those feelings and you kind of do a focus wheel on those, still related to the sport, and you can kind of work your way up to the manifestation that way a little quicker, because if you're looking at the emotions, that's where you're trying to get to. So then you're trying to look for things that you're doing currently in whatever you're doing. Like for me, it would be bowling on that particular a subject that the example, and you would just look for things that cause that, or again, hypothetical things like, I really like it when I do this, or just general. You're just trying to get general things to work close to that emotion, and then just with every emotion that you have, and just try to work yourself up to that. It would work also for health reasons, things like that, and if you had an illness or something that you're trying to get over, well, then you have to imagine yourself, how would I feel if I didn't have this anymore? And then you would say things like, I would feel successful, I'd feel um, you know powerful. However you would feel, everybody's going to have a little bit different feeling on that. You just write down those feelings, and then same thing again. You just start, for health reasons, you would just kind of write down things that you can do currently that you feel something like that. And if you can't do that now, then you just kind of just get general. You just, again, you're just trying to get general to just work on the feeling to get close to that. So it's just a way to make like focus wheels and things like that a little more effective. Because if you just generally put down, again, as I go back to the first example, I can bowl, I can bowl a 300 game, and then just kind of work your way around a focus wheel around that. You're kind of scattered, because you're not really focused. Even though you're trying to get that, there's a lot of different feelings that go into that manifestation, and you're just kind of not really focusing on whatever feeling that is, or it just helps you to get a little more specific, and work on the feeling a little bit more. Um, uh, and it'll help you out. I've just been doing that, and it was very effective for one subject that I was working on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I'm going to continue to strive to work on. I will probably try to do that particular exercise for these remote viewing experiments, working on the feeling, how I would feel if I would have success. It's, again, I hate to say it, it's not real high priority for me, so I've been working on a few other things first, and my time is so limited, unfortunately, with my daughter. I have real limited time to do these. I do these usually in the morning, and then at nighttime, and then it's just that coupled with my meditations, it's like it takes up a lot of time. So Um, but you know, you do feel better. I do notice that, you know, my work life has improved quite a bit. So I can't say that they are useless. They definitely are effective, and it's something that is working on an inner being level of myself. I feel that. Um, okay, that's it. So again, I'll talk with everyone later. Thank you for watching. Take care.